Good morning, good folks. Welcome to FYI. Wherever you're joining us from, we trust great folks. This 27th day of August 2024. The month is gone. The month is gone. Don't even let it pretend. The month is done with. It is gone too, and no doubt the day done with. Well, good to have each and every one of you this morning. Live with us is such a privilege. See you folks another day. Tuesday, believe it or not, we're heading into the middle of the week and we're the end of the month. Heading into September, folks, excited about the new month, new opportunities, and all that is in store. So good to see so many of you on the live this morning. Let's see those comments. Let's get those comments rolling in. Tanagni is here already. Tanagni is here already, not wasting time. I like people like this. They come quick, share the live, they smash the emoji button, and they get on to other things. Not like some people, they got to probe and prod and to move them down the line. But so good to have all of you. Nonetheless, wherever you're joining us from, and we're cognizant that so many of you come back to watch us because of your shift, how you're moving, how you're going. But we're privileged nonetheless. We're privileged nonetheless. Good to see each and every one of you this Tuesday morning. It's fair weather where we are in the national capital city, downtown Georgetown. It's fair weather. We're not going to complain at all because we know the further into region 11 that we go, the further in the diaspora that we go, the weather could be a little iffy. A little iffy, as you guys say. We're going to just be thankful for the weather that we have. Yep, yesterday afternoon was hot. It was hot. Two fans and the air conditioner running. And we're still feeling that heat. German Griffith, good to see you there this morning. Leon and Shamilla and Donnet. Bushmaster is here as well. Dolly Anderson, we see you there. I see Florizel Sears is here too. And of course, Shamilla Edgel. Debbie Collins is here too. Irwin Don Cook, good to see you here this morning as well. So glad that you folks could be joining us today. Don't anybody see your joy this Tuesday morning, good folks. It's the 27th day of August. We're fired up and we are ready to go. I see Tracy is here and Debbie, Irwin, Karen, Rogers, Wenda, Gail, Irwin. Good to have all of you on the live, folks. Really, really, truly grateful. Florizel and Dolly, Bushmaster, Donnet, Leon, Debbie, Jermaine, Brenda, Roxanne Telford, good to see you on the live as well. Leon Logan, folks, you're coming on. Help us, help others to receive our broadcast. If you find any value in our program, share the live for us. Smash that emoji button too, folks. Leon, Shamila, Dolly, Brenda, Roxanne, good to have all of you here with us, folks. It's another day and we outside and we out front. Yep, we're ready to get to it. Good, folks, if it's not a problem with you guys, we're ready to get to it at our end. Do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. All our technicians who are on duty this morning, do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. We are supposed to be heard loud and clear. Good to have all of you with us. The graphics seem to be working. Kitchen is in order. Folks, we're fired up and we're ready to go this morning. First 15, folks. The first 15, 4 minutes in, we have 200 of you on with us. Sheila Boyd Child, good morning to you too. Good morning. And German Griffith joining us from the Cayman Islands. Good to have you, German and Dolly and Gloria. All you other folks joining us. Edward Gonzalez and all you folks joining us. Great to have you here. Great to have you. Debbie, Gloria, Selwyn. Good to have you. Erwin, Donnet. Great to have you here with us. Wenda, Gail. Good to have you folks. So that's the first 15, folks. The first 15. And let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. We're going to give you guys a quick sec. We need to dot an I and cross a T at the back end. We're going to give you guys a quick sec as well to share the live, folks. Let folks know that we're on. We're not playing, folks. We are on this morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday morning at our end. And we just hope, well, you know, it's like, well, just hoping the weather holds just like this. Just so cool. So we can get on with what we need to do at our end throughout today. We got some errands to run as we wrap up the program this morning. Next week, folks, busy week. Busy week next week. Busy week next week. What is your month looking like for September? Do let us know what are some of the things on your calendar for September. I want to know, folks. I want to know. Is it nice time by your side? Is it going to be nice time by your side? Well, it's going to be nice time at our side as well. Looking forward to September and all that is in store. Good, folks. All is in store. We hope it's a good September for you folks as we run out the few couple of days we have remaining in this month as we run out the few couple of days we have remaining. We hope September is a fantastic month for you. Do let us know how August was at your end. We want to know. We fast like that. Do let us know how August was. Sheila Boychel, how is your August? Rusty Man, how is your August? Murat Reed, Michael, how is August at your side? Y'all make a little money for August. Huh? How was work this August? You put aside a little something. Cheryl, oh Jesus, the bells keep coming. The bells, the bells, the bells. Good to have all of you all with us though. Bills and all. Bills and all, folks. A little bit what we're following. Regionally, well, the Jamaicans got a lot to be proud for. Folks, the current finance minister of Jamaica, this is Dr. Nigel Clark. He's going to be appointed to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, as Deputy Managing Director. Yep, as the Deputy Managing Director. And yesterday I saw on social media the Prime Minister of Jamaica, saying that this has not been done for this part of the Caribbean in about 80 years. I think that's what I saw Andrew Holness saying yesterday. In about 80 years, the Caribbean has not, let me see if we catch it in my notes correctly. So I quote him accurately. He says, this is a historic and important development in which he takes immense pride. No citizen of Jamaica, the Caribbean, or Central America has ever before served at this level in the International Monetary Fund for 80 years. So quite an achievement for a Caribbean brother. And by all indications, Dr. Nigel Clark is a bright fellow. Like some of y'all, he's like a 1,000-watt Kelvin something bulb. Bright bad. Fennel Innes, Grace Noel, Debbie Collins, he bright for so. Bright for so. We want to wish him the best. We want to wish him. These things are important because when, international issues as well as regional issues come before the IMF, we got somebody who's competent and who could also look out for our best interest. Not that he be siding with us or being biased to the Caribbean and all of that, but it's good to have somebody on the inside who's looking out for your interest. Grace Noel, good to see you there. Leslie Hamilton, Penelope Grant, Dolly, and all the other folks joining us. Mark, good to see you too. Ingrid Crawford and Leslie Hamilton, great to see each and every one of you. We hope that you guys are good and well. Mark, Naomi's here too. Naomi said now we could go and borrow some money. Yeah. How you know the thing so good? You know the whole thing, Naomi, the whole thing. I happy. Remember how we used to say colloquially, you gonna read and spell? Yeah. I happy had to read and spell for Naomi there. Naomi into it. I see the Honorable Camille McKenzie's here. Good to have you this morning on with us, Camille. Hope your day started well. Started at the gym, did your workout, you get home there, you're having that special merengue tea and so on, and your day's off to a fantastic start. It's important, It is tremendously important as you start the day. You eke out those little wins. And you can do it simply by just fulfilling whatever is your morning routine. I'm trying to get some exercise into my morning routine. It's a little thing. I used to go running every morning before we had the morning shows. About 4 years now. I didn't do it. I get to do it on Saturdays, but not during the course of the week. So I'm trying to get in before we start work on the morning show, get in some exercise there so I can look as good as Camille. Debbie Collins says she's hearing us loud and clear. Allison, welcome, is here too. Sabrina Blue, how are you? Rena Cummins is on with us as well. Rena, how are you doing? You're back? Or are you still way there? Are you back? Congrats to Dr. Nigel Clark and this tremendous elevation, promotion, ascension. Congrats to him. And as we in the region, folks, this was a little one, folks. This was a little one. A man and his wife walking home in Trinidad and Tobago. As we say in the English, they were alighted upon by some persons. The husband was chopped to his head, stumbled home. He fell unconscious. When he got up, couldn't find his wife. Stumbled home. This is this horrific. What happened here with this couple? This was Ravi Samlal. His wife was Rishma Peters. Right. Couldn't find his wife when he regained consciousness. Stumbled home, and he said he was chopped in his head. Well, that's very evident. Choked, all manner of things. Right? When they went back looking for his wife, found her to death. They said they were just alighted upon. They walking, heading their way home. Right? Car came up. Men exited, and brute force and ignorance. Crime is something else in Trinidad. Not only Trinidad, you all know things happening right by our end too. Crime, the criminal elements. Last evening's program, we told you about the gentleman who himself and family were overseas. Them boys licked them up. Jewels and all, everything gone. Millions gone. 10 million in cash, 5 million in 5,000 US. And a lot of jewelry gone. So I ain't gonna knock the Trinidadians, but crime is certainly something we have to take seriously. We gotta take seriously. Trinidad got its own share of that. Jamaica got its own share of that. Got its own share of that. Yeah. Moving on, folks. So our thoughts and prayers with this family. They said the husband is hospitalized and is recovering. Our thoughts and prayers with this family. Right. So sad to hear. You gotta be very vigilant. See, when I walking in town, my Lord, you gotta get eyes at the back and the side. You get into the city, it's always hustlers. Hustlers. A lot of hustlers. Thoughts and prayers with that family. We come a little closer to home now. Y'all know where Hawk Street is? Hawk Street. This is not Anai. This is round the corner. GWI up the road. Right? If the folks at GWI stand in the backyard, they could see Hawk Street. Right round the corner, Leslie Maxine Ingrid King. Right round the corner, Hawk Street got a water shortage. For about a month. How do people survive? For a month without water. In the fastest growing economy in the world, Jacqueline Argyle, Leslie Hamilton, Marlene Thomas, high income country, biggest GDP per capita, fastest growing economy, right up the road from the water authority. You got a community without water for a month. How do people manage? I want to thank Kaitro News for this reporting this one. How do people manage? Of course, the residents there, frustrated. Very frustrated. Nothing is happening. A whole month and counting. Nothing. Right? DWI spoke of the turbidity in the water that they're trying to deal with. And then it moved from turbidity to old pipes. Sheikh Bash's old pipe. Is the old pipe. Oh, we got to get rid of some of them. Get rid of some of them. Put them in a drum and just sail them out somewhere. Sail them out somewhere. Let the Father have his way in their life. Sail them off somewhere. That's one they should be following for. Ivat Madu, I see you. Horace Calder, the Jackson is in the house this morning. Just pray for this country. We have the Doris Magnell Barrow, Annette Cummins, Jolly Anderson. Pray for this country. Please and thank you. Pray for us. Horace said still we got to pay the water bill. Yeah, the water bill coming for that month. Water bill coming for that month, believe it or not. Horace, Waveney and the others, water coming for that month. Irwin Dunn, water's going to come. Brian Daniels, we see you there. Claire Capel, Fratia, Waveney Doris. I see you there. Jacqueline, Annette, Michelle. We see you. We see all of you. Good morning. Hope y'all get water where y'all are. Hope water coming by y'all. By y'all. The Kaitro News has been very, I don't want to use the word upset, such a strong word, concerned, let's use that word, about the oil and gas policy of the PNCR. I've noted they've been at it with Mr. Norton for a little bit. I don't think that's going to help. Mr. Norton says, the PNCR says that its plan for the oil sector is going to be revealed in a fuller way closer to elections. Norton understands the PPP like the thief. Jedward would come out Thursday and said, these plans are our plans here. We're just about to make it known to you. Look, Norton, how thief we think. PNCR says, closer to election, we're going to know their plans for the stewardship of the oil and gas sector. Clearly, the PPP not doing a good job with it. Clearly, the PPP not doing a good job with it. And its friends, family, and favorites. We're watching it, folks. We are watching it. That's one of the things we're watching. Friends, family, and favorites. Friends, family, favorites. And if that is not enough for you, that's not enough for you. The Alliance for Change says, talking about the PNCR, the Alliance for Change says, it's watching this new Berbice Bridge project. They're watching it. And they got some questions. They have some concerns about this proposed high-span fixed bridge plan that the government has. High-span fixed bridge. That's what they said. They're watching it because there are a number of questions that remain unanswered. And this is according to the Alliance for Change. Feasibility study, we don't know it. Environmental impact assessment, we don't know it. Social impact assessment, we don't know it. Does the government intend to terminate the concessional agreement with the current Berbice Bridge Company that runs up until 2030? What's the compensation that will be provided for the Berbice Bridge Company? A lot of questions. More than answers. Questions more than answers. So we're watching that. Cost also is a big issue. Mark and Marlin, Sukshan Sudhari, Carlton Smith, Wendell Hudson, Jacqueline Argyle. Cost is a big concern too. Especially when the PAP said that they weren't going into any other huge project. Suddenly, out of nowhere, you ever wake up good. They just run out of nowhere. Suddenly. And this is where you got Lord Argyle. Wave the door. Suddenly. Wendell Hudson. Suddenly. Wayne Matthew, good to see you on the live this morning, my brother. Good to see you on the live. The Alliance for Change, there for you, folks. The Alliance for Change, there for you. And you know, just yesterday, we were telling you folks, as we're on the Alliance for Change, that it was Kemraj Ramjitan who was making the point that as it concerns our teachers, the teacher union is embarrassed, the government trying to embarrass our teachers. As a matter of fact, his words was humiliate. Right? It's humiliate. He's trying to humiliate them. That's what the Alliance for Change said. But take a listen. We can see you guys on the other side of it.
The Guyana Teachers Union and the Education Ministry recently signed an agreement for better pay. There has been much criticism over the signing. General Secretary Coretta MacDonald has gone public in her accusation of GTU President Mark Light selling out the teachers. Kemraj Ramjitan said that one can't take the word of the PPP for granted when it says that it doesn't have fiscal space.
It would appear do not want to give a better day to our teachers for a variety of reasons, including political and ethnic, and they want to humiliate a certain section of our population.
To satisfy these objectives, the PPP would create charandas facades within the trade union, according to Ramjitan. The Director of Finance told the press conference that the offer to the teachers is an indication of how the PPP intends to deal with the public servants.
Overall, for 2024, 2025, and 2026. Because if this is what they have tabled before the teachers, it indicates to me that that's the direction that they're going in for all public servants. And we have an issue with that because when you're looking, I think the stats guru, when I think the last number I looked at was for May 2024, the inflation was at 7.2%.
She said that Guyana should be aware that everything isn't above board.
No, the Exim Bank is not approving the loan when it comes to the gas, the energy. But the BP is saying very, very boldly that, yeah, even if it's not approved, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to spend money towards this. And the Exim Bank isn't approving it because it's not showing feasible.
From the way money is being directed, the evidence is clear that the government has no interest in the Guyanese working class, she said. The teachers proposed a detailed plan.
It started 30%. That was the act from the inception. So for the government to actually basically say no, and at some point in time we have to put the blame where it is it's due, and that is solely at the feet of government.
She said that the decision to pay the teachers was what was agreed on, and that came from the upper echelons of the government. Member of Parliament Cathy Hughes said that Guyana is far removed from the time when the PPP contended that the teachers should be given a 50% increase.
When Guyana was a HIPC country, registered as HIPC, highly indebted poor country, we were able to give at least a 5%. Standard, it used to be 5 to 7% increase. We are now supposedly the Dubai fastest growing economy, and we can only give our teachers 10% when, as Member Parliament Dorita has already mentioned, the inflation alone is 7.4%.
The government has acknowledged how important the teachers are. It said that the increased fail grades at the external examinations was due to the strike by the teachers.
You are not committed to ensure that those teachers have all the resources and an acceptable living wage so they can guarantee our young people, our students, the future of Guyana can do better.
Yeah. That's what the Alliance for Change says. Folks, we got to look at that. We got to look at that. You know, I saw, while I was on, I saw Waveney Doris saying, I would like the WPA, the Alliance for Change, come together with APNU. Right? That's my hope and dream, folks. That is my hope and dream. You know, and nothing less will do. We got to see the WPA, the AFC, and the APNU come together. How many of you feel like that? Vernon, Jacqueline, Mark, I got some company here. Do we have some company with Waveney Doris? Marlon Thomas, Deborah Pearson. How you guys feel? Going to have all of you on the live this morning, right? Naomi Dragon said, "What's your ride? Which ride?" I want to watch it too. Horace, good to have you. Ruina, Sheila Boychild, Magnell Barrow, Mark, and all the other folks who are joining us. Magnus says, "I too, Sharon, I too." Yolanda says, "Yes." Orendan says, "I feel the same way." Joy Anderson says, "Yes, I do." Kind of come together, get the PPP out, vote them out. Vote them out. Then we move this country forward in a positive direction. Vote them out, move things forward. Full stop. Full stop. Full stop, folks. We got another 10 minutes in us. Let's talk about some what's trending, folks. You all know the National Two-Show Conference occupied most of the public space since last week. Today's Tuesday, and concerns are still being raised. How we treat our indigenous people. How we treating the people at Chinese landing there, Tasawini. How we treating the people at the Senaru. How we treating, other communities. And they're not being treated well. If you read yesterday's Tabuk News, how the cost of living. Treating people rough. It's rough out there. Well, this whole issue of the government's engagement with the indigenous brothers and sisters still being raised. I'm giving you all some early homework. Marlon, Marlon said, coalition is it. Coalition is it. I like that. Coalition is it. Right? So, a lot of questions and concerns are still being raised. There's an editorial in today's, I think it's Skytrue News, right? Government and the two shows conference. This is very, very telling, folks. Very, very telling. Right? Government and the two shows conference. And this is an editorial in Starbuck News. Right? Starbuck News. Here part of this editorial says, see if you find yourself in agreement. No one can blame a government whose coffers these days are chock-a-block with all money from investing in a modicum of image enhancement by making the point as vigorously as it can that some of those monies are being channeled in the direction of ensuring Amerindans are being positioned to play catch up insofar as their overall development is concerned. That's a quite startling bit there by Starbuck News in this editorial. All the investments government making, Starbuck News is contending here, will just allow our indigenous brothers and sisters to play catch up. You're playing catch up. You're not advancing anything. You ever wonder how all of these indigenous communities got mining happening there? And our indigenous population, sadly, is among the poorest and most depressed. Is among the poorest. And I don't mean tall buildings being synonymous with development. As I said, if you read yesterday's Starbuck News and that piece on how the cost of living treating people, Starbuck News spoke to Tushaus last week. And there's a common thread and vein running through the comments there. Things are tough. Things are rough. And what's happening in the indigenous community? It's pretty much the same any part of this country. Because in its now 90th edition, that column, that article there, every week, people from various parts of this country rehearse the same story. How things are hard where they are. Single people, single parents, you know. You name it. You name the family confab. Same thing, same difference. Things are tough. Starbuck News is making the point. The government is not doing right by our indigenous brothers and sisters. It's not doing right by them. Read the editorial for yourself. And if that wasn't enough, folks, if that was enough, we could go on from there. Because there's a column this morning, Kaichur News. Another interesting read. Another very, very interesting read. The government stranglehold on the National Two Shows Conference. As I said, a very, very interesting read. Stranglehold on the National Two Shows Conference. And we spoke about this quite recently. Starbuck News made some points on this recently as well. This is what Kemraj Ramjatan calls control freakism. If they can't control it, they break it up. They dismantle it. That is the modus operandi of the PPP. This country is in want of such a new direction, a shift from the path in which it's on. Our indigenous brothers and sisters as well. Our indigenous brothers and sisters as well. And I won't leave you there. There's another aspect to this. You see all this homework I'm giving you all this morning. Leslyn Hamilton, Annette Cummins, Dolly Anderson, Sudhari Sukhchan. You see all this homework I gave you all this morning. In a letter to the editor, GKH Lal, follows up. Now, you got column in Kaito News, editorial in Sabuk News, a letter to the editor, the presidency in a tailspin. Not Granger, Irfan Ali. Read this letter to the editor by G.K. Shlal about the bravado, the crassness of the PPP. You ever heard the term sound and fury symbolizing nothing? Or that's the submission, the whole letter to the editor from G.K. Shlal on the presidency of Irfan Ali. And they disagree with you, how they come after you with a lot of bluster and threats and fury. But what's behind it? What's the progress we could say we have made? That's G.K. Shlal. Presidency in a tailspin. And talk about how one should carry themselves presidential. As against always an abuse down. Soon as you ask Irfan a question he doesn't like, his abuse down. Brian Daniels, you can't run a country like that. Look what happened at the National Two Shows Conference. Day one is abuse down, a telling off, as against a systematic, coherent laying out of the plans of the government for Indigenous brothers and sisters, and then spending more time listening. They're not listening to understand, to hear you. They're listening to respond, and to let you know that they're right and you're wrong. Full stop. God was so much better than that. Margaret Ann, Horace, Beatrice, God was so much more than that. Gail and Antia, Waveney Doris, so much more than that has to be done. Gotta change that dirty PP culture, as it were. We gotta change that. Got to change it. Please God, as the Trinity say. Gotta change that. Ain't getting better as we had. Let us see the editor. You got so much reading to catch up on. So much reading. We covered this already for the morning. John and Dougie and Andrew covered this ground. We did our reading for the morning already. Fellow writing to the media. He says, guys, who quite better off than the Cubans. We gotta tell you that. We gotta tell you all that. We could have said that. Right? Cuba got its own challenge. Challenges they can't fix. Right? You can't fix me. You can only give people what you know. If you know solutions, you can bring solutions to bear. But again, let's write it making the point. All is not well. All is not well. Guys, so all is not well in the sugar industry. And folks, we're going to continue to monitor. We will continue to monitor this. Billions poured into the sugar sector. I was up at Massey on the weekend. Can't find packaged sugar. Right? And we touched several other places before that. All you're getting is this black, dirty, grumsy sugar for all them billions. Oh, it's quite sad. It's quite sad. We should have been farther along. Farther along. The agriculture minister says the Cubans are going to continue to assist the sugar industry for the next 12 months. Right? 12 months. And their role here is to come to help to promote mechanization in the agricultural sector. Right? In the agricultural operation, and to improve agricultural productivity. The writers say, making the point, that's not going so well. Go to see Chanel Smith Daniels on the live this morning. Chanel says it's nothing them boys can't get right. I make the point all the time after you, Chanel. We're working in this country. What is actually working in this country? And these boys fashion themselves as the sugar czars. Right? They're the cane whisperers. That's how they fashion themselves. They come to make sugar great again. Where? West side that. They've come to make sugar great again. We're at 46 minutes. After 8, folks, we're going to do about another 10 minutes and then get out of here. We turn 5 minutes into the program. We're going to do another 10 minutes, folks, and get out of here so we can go ahead and have a fantastic day. We got a lot of errands at our end, a lot of T's to cross, a lot of I's to dot. Good to have all of you on the line this morning. Mark, and I see Paula here, Loretta, Gwyneth, Horace, Ann, good to see you too. Brenda Moore, great to see you. Neon Harding, good to see you as well. The Cubans, this is a letter to the editor of today's paper. You can go and read it at your leisure for your reading pleasure. Okay. Number is contemplating bridging Legwan and Wickenham. Bridging Legwan and Wickenham in the Essequibo River there. Right. You got bridge in this country. But they are fighting something to spend this money on, so they can get the kickbacks and so on. They said there is a possibility, like how there's a possibility of Scar Hill coming next year. There's a possibility they'll be bridging the Wickenham and Legwan. Mark's are very ambitious. Is this what you're referring to, Mark? Brian giving us some figures on sugar. 40 cents to make a pound of sugar. We sell it 20 cents. That's Jagrio maths for you. That's Jagrio maths. And we know about maths. We know it. We go with the numbers. Jagrio maths for you. Possibility. Legwan and Wickenham. And then Chinese producing the goods, folks. Chinese brothers producing the goods. Say what you will. Producing the goods. And here they're telling us that over 68,000 ounces were gleaned from, is it Jing Mining Group? Jing Mining Group Limited. 68,000 ounces. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. You see, we've been talking about gold declarations being done and so on. And them boys now trying to pump the numbers. Right? Them boys fiddling with the numbers. On our last evening's broadcast, we talked a little bit about this. How the gold numbers have been in decline. And something has to be done about it. Take a look, folks. Take a listen. This was the coming out of the Alliance for Change press conference quite recently. Take a look.
Declaration from small and medium-scale gold miners declined further during the first quarter of the year, according to statistics presented by the analysts. Co-founder of the Alliance for Change, Kemraj Ramjatan, said that there are laws. The problem is enforcement.
Geology and Mines Commissioners' officers and personnel ought to ensure that they go to these mining areas wherever there is active mining going on and see that there is no pollution. The thing is being done in accordance with the bylaws and sustainable development of our mining industry and so on. And those who are doing it illegally or contrary to the specifications of the mining regulations, they ought to be charged or penalized. And they can do that. I understand they have powers under kind of a civil law arrangement where they can put a fine.
He said that there are people to do the enforcement, but that remains a problem.
Enforcement is the thing. And there are lots of laws in Guyana, just like thou shalt not commit corruption by senior officers of the police force. There are laws against that. But we still see corruption.
Member of Parliament Loretta Fanaan said that the Bank of Guyana report is telling.
That declaration for gold from the small and medium scale operators declined by 24.2%. And I think persons need to really understand, and an in-depth investigation needs to be done into this matter, particularly because like Mr. Ramjisan just pointed out, one of the major issues we have is enforcement.
She said that the mining officers pay the most attention to the small and medium scale miners.
And a lot of times the cases that you will find coming up is that those persons would be complaining heavily that even when they go out and they are working a lot and they are basically looking for goal prospecting, as they would call it, if they do come into areas that have gold, by the time they get and actually make applications for them to legally work the land, then you will see some persons with more connections will be given access to those lands because that is how it is done.
The decline is mostly due to the performance of the medium-scale miners. In the period 2015 to 2020, the numbers were higher. This was because of enforcement, she said.
Immediately as we took office in 2020, now we have been seeing decline in the declaration when it comes to gold in Guyana. So there's definitely a correlation in between the two, the people being in office and the declarations reducing.
Yeah, I did tell you, rice was doing good under the coalition. Gold was doing good under the coalition. Sugar was doing fairly well under the coalition, even though we were restructuring the industry there. And then up come the PPP. You know, they said the better for the mining sector. Some tax they roll back, 200 tax. They never tell you the 200 taxes, you know, that they roll back. They never could tell you 200 taxes. And it's been a promise a day. A promise a day. So that's where we are. So when you see some numbers, they're just trying to pat the thing, as it were. Just trying to pat the thing. That being said, folks, you'll notice we picked up the pace a little bit because we're getting on to 9 o'clock, folks, and we got some errands once we hit that hour that we got to attend to. The private sector says it's on a fact finding on the impact of Chinese business and locals. Remember, quite recently, we saw several businessmen, over 60 businessmen, wrote to Air Finale concerning this proliferation of Chinese businesses, squeezing them out of the local market. Just recently, we spoke about what happened there at Port Kaituma. We saw on Friday, Port Kaituma was telling us, again, the small businesses on Port Kaituma, not Port Kaituma, Mabaruma waterfront there, Kamaka, they were talking about, again, Chinese business, you know, being a stranglehold and their own enterprises there. So the Private Sector Commission says it's an impact, a fact-finding mission on the impact of Chinese businesses on locals. I hope they reported accurately. And as we on the Private Sector Commission, you know, them boys and everything, them boys in the Venezuelan election, saying that they have condemned the repression and violence meted out against the Venezuelan people. Sometimes I think the PSC little lost, you know. Sometimes I think the PSC little lost. You know, there are many things you could talk about. Why are we getting involved in the internal affairs in other countries as a PSC? Right? They're condemning the repression, violence meted out against Venezuelans. Private Sector Commission. We got some things right here need condemnation. Nobody talking, though. No, nobody ain't talking about those things. When we get a bit of good news, we give kudos and adrift. Corruption rampant. Some people doing their work, you know. It's not everybody. Some people doing their work. And a gang that robbed the gas station recently, some of the men have been apprehended. Young people turning to crime and violence. Young people. Joel Joshua Williams, right? Akeem Marquez, Tyrone Peters. Young people. Why are you doing this? 21, 19, 21, 27. That's the age group. 19, 21, 27. So they were armed with a pistol, used a grey Axio to carry out this robbery in the Gaya gas station, at Railway Embankment, and Chico Ramdas gas station at College End. Right? and also at the Rubens gas station. So them boys went on a frolic there, boy. Frolic there. And some of them on multiple charges. Multiple charges. We're watching that, folks. We're watching that. Among some other things we're following this morning as we wrap up. We're a little fast paced this morning, but we got to get to some places, and we, of course, we try as much as possible to have these programs because we know how much they matter to you. We got over 900 person closing and 1,000 watching us this morning. We're so grateful for that. We are so, look at you all. Brian Daniels, Waveney, Yvette Madu. Look at you all. Some of the other things that we're following, folks. We told you guys yesterday about that murder-suicide, Warren Village. Lady walked away with her life from that gas bottle explosion. A lot of things happening. Telling us as we concerns truck drivers. Fatalities with these accidents involving truck drivers going up. Going up 20%. Non-fatal spike up to 31% so far. 2024. Fatal crashes up by 20%. Non-fatal accidents spiked to 31%. Yeah, gotta be careful. I saw a little fender bender yesterday. Huge truck. Huge truck. May have just braced a canter. Next thing you know, the canter driver is throwing a big stone in the window screen of the truck. Another big stone on the driver. Now went from 0 to 60 real fast. But I thought I said these serious accidents, these accidents were going down. Just last week, that's what they said. Right? Look at this. Don't post your girlfriend pictures, your ex-girlfriend, or any girlfriend pictures. Nude. Don't do it. 33-year-old IT technician Jeremy Smith is on a reduced bail. Right? On the charges which include acquiring and distributing intimate photos and videos of his ex-girlfriend. Intimate photos and videos. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. That being said, in other news, folks, 76 on the spot hires. I thought everybody was gainfully employed. All this 60,000 government told us they employed recently. 76 on the spot hires done at the GYSBI and Munishwash job fair. GYSBI. So oil and gas we talking about here. 76 on the spot hires. Naomi says, Mark saved from nudes being out there. Nudes out there carrying a price. Yeah, because you got to set up perverts. Got to set up perverts out there. 76 on the spot hires. GYSBI and Monishwars. We talked there about what's happening there. Pack of nonsense. And then look, a matter got resolved quite recently. A fruit vendor that shot at another vendor, right, has compensated that victim, and the charges have been dropped. I didn't know you could do something like shooting at somebody. Isn't that like attempted murder, manslaughter? Attempted something. You're shooting at somebody, you could just compensate people and matter drop like that. This is what happened with Rene Innes, a 39-year-old food vendor, was charged with shooting 2 men in the leg. And he was accused of firing a loaded gun at Sheldon Smith on April 17th with the intention of causing him harm. With the intention of causing him harm. You could just shoot at somebody, compensate him, and the matter drop. I find them things very, very, very sad. Right? You got a man who could beat a woman to pulp and she could say, I'm pressing charges. The matter could drop just like that. Strange country we live in. Strange country we live in. Very strange. Very, very strange country we live in. Some of the things we're following at this hour, folks. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're a little thing there, a little giddy up there. Folks, we hope that you guys go on to have a fantastic day. Thanks to the hundreds of you who joined our broadcast this morning. Michael and Neon, Sharon, Mia Miller's it too. Sonia Sargent, good to see you guys there. Auntie Sandra Hanover, we see you on the live too. Auntie Sandra, Michelle and Robin, good to have you. Sabrina Blue, we see you, Sabrina. Stacy and Stoll, we see you as well. We have Doris, we see you there. And all you other beautiful, wonderful folks, we're going to see you guys right back here on our next broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You all know how much it means to us, as much as our programs mean to you folks. Thank you so, so much for being here. Rastaman, Bushmaster, Irwin, Wennett. I see Debbie here too, and Mark, and all the other beautiful souls who've joined us at home here in Guyana and in the diaspora as well. Thank you guys so much. Go ahead and have a fantastic, fantastic rest of the day. Stay safe, guys. We're going to